Okay, well, hello. Hi, everybody. My name's Linda Petroni. I'm one of the team leaders in New South Wales. And today we're going to bring you a class that's all about salads. Now, salad doesn't necessarily have to be boring. It doesn't have to be just your iceberg lettuce and a bit of tomato and onion and cucumber. There's so many variations now. And I know when you probably go to a restaurant or a cafe or something, often a salad is served as a side and it's got some vibrant colors, and there's often nuts and seeds and all sorts of stuff that are incorporated in a salad. The easiest thing here is that you've got an appliance now that can actually bring together a beautiful dressing, but also chop and integrate all of those ingredients as well. So what we're going to show you today is a couple of dishes that show some multi-level cooking, but also using the TM6 high heat function to sear some steak, but also bringing together all those wonderful, unusual ingredients and how you can make them all in your Thermomix. So we hope that you, Murphy's Law, the doorbell goes. We hope you enjoy the class that we've got for you today. The presenters that I've got for you are Christine with a seared steak and rocket salad. I've got Anita doing quinoa greens and a beautiful yogurt salad. Debbie's doing a brilliant, very quick, what we call our traffic light salad. And I think you'll all be making this 10 times over. The Asian noodle salad will be presented by Fiona. And then Marie is bringing together a pesto chicken potato salad for you. Now, in between all of that, we'll showcase some dressings. We're also going to show you some of the items that we've been using as consultants that come from the Mix Shop, which is the official online store. And I guess we're coming into an entertainment season now. Hopefully we'll all be out of lockdown soon, and we can use some of these salads and some of these tools that we present today as we're working with our friends and family and making sure that we're feeding their bellies. So look, we hope you enjoy the class today. Our chat moderator for the class is the lovely Anne-Marie, and Anne-Marie will be able to answer any of your questions. So please don't take yourself off mute. We'd rather that you type your question into the chat and Anne-Marie will support you. The other thing to remember that at the end of this class, because you've registered, we will be emailing out all the links to all the recipes and all our tips and all our wonderful additional great salads and stuff that we think that you should try that we just couldn't fit into this particular class. So we're going to kickstart with the wonderful Christine, and she's going to take you through highlighting one of the new functions in the TM6, which is the seared steak in between the beautiful rocket and fresh salads. So over to you, Christine.
Excuse me. All right. Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us. So yeah, as Linda mentioned, I'm doing the seared steak rocket salad. I really enjoy this one because it really highlights the high heat function, and who doesn't like a good steak and salad? So now you can actually do that in your Thermomix. So I'm going to jump in and start. We start always with the onions and oil, just like you might do on a barbecue. So pop that in. It's going to go for 2 minutes on 120 degrees. And the beauty is, while that's going, you can prepare your salad. You don't have to be concerned that it's going to burn or splatter or anything like that. So we're just going to continue while that's going. So I've got a nice plate here. So there's 2 ways you can make a salad, or probably many ways you can make a salad, but the recipe says you can pop it all into a bowl and stir in the dressings at the end with the meat maybe on top, or stirred in as well. Completely your preference, and that's the beauty of Thermomix as well. You don't always have to follow the recipe. So I'm going to start by popping it in the bowl, and then at the end I'll show you on a plate and present it for you. So all I've done, that's the amount of rocket it does ask for. So I'd like to just show you the portion size. It is for 2 people. So it is probably on the smaller side, but for maybe a 6 foot tall husband like my age I have, he'd probably have all of that himself. So 2 people, but like it's quite generous with the salad. Oh, it asks for 1 avocado. So I'm just going to pop that in. And again, you can cut the avocado however you like. We just like it sliced, nice and simple. There we go. 120 grams of cherry tomatoes. I love the Roma cherry tomatoes. I think they've got a nice little flavor. You can get baby trust tomatoes, which are beautiful as well. And I've just cut them in half. So I'm just going to spread that around. Beautiful. And it also asks for caper berries. So I'm not sure if everyone's heard of those. They're a little hard to find. I actually couldn't find them in Woolies the other day. So I've just gone ahead and used regular baby capers. Capers are more potent than caper berries, just to let you know. Oh, look at that, it's already ready. So if you are going to use capers, just maybe start with about half the amount it asks for. This is 20 grams. And just to taste. I know capers aren't necessarily to everyone's taste. Beautiful. And that is a salad ready to go when the steaks all, the onions all done. Beautiful. So that's just sauteed them nicely for us. Now it's asking for the steak, which I've just cut up into nice big chunks. It says strips. More than welcome to do that. I like my steak more on the medium rare side. So I like them a bit bigger chunks just to ensure they get a bit more medium rare. So all of that goes in. And just one whole sprig of rosemary. So don't take the leaves off, it just wants it whole. Just like that. Great, and here comes the safety feature. It's asking, because we're going to go to the high heat function, you actually have to stop and think, and it asks you for the splash guard. So we're just going to pop that one on top. And as you can see by the notches, it's going to get locked in by the arm. So you can't take it off to really just outline the safety of this function. So it just says maximum temperature, going to go for roughly 6 minutes, turning it on, and I'm browning my meat now. So that is the beauty of the PM6 with the high heat function. You can get nice browned meat. So I understand that's me for now, and then we're going to move on to someone else while that is cooking away. Is that right?
That's right. Thanks, Christine. So looking forward to coming back to you. We're going to go straight across to Anita now, and Anita's going to bring together the quinoa, greens and yogurt. So over to you, Anita.
Thank
you. Anita, you're on mute.
Okay, can we hear me now? I was speaking to myself for a minute there. Thank you so much for coming into my kitchen. I'm looking forward to showing you the quinoa and green broccoli salad. It's one of my favorite salads to make because it's very healthy, full of nutrients and vitamins. So I'm just going to start off with making the dressing. So you can see in the front here that I've already laid out some of the basics of the salad, which is some rocket, and I've toasted some seeds and nuts. I'll go through that in a minute, and also some dried cranberries. But first, we'll make the dressing, which is an avocado and Greek yogurt dressing with a few other little lovely ingredients in there too. So first of all, I'll bring it up on my screen. So and press start cooking. And first we'll pop in 200 grams of Greek yogurt and a teaspoon of ground cumin. I add a little bit more as I like the flavor of cumin. And 1 tablespoon of lemon juice. Now I wanted to highlight one of these products too that you can get on our mix shop. And these are these cute little yogurt glasses, but I love to use them when I'm squeezing lemon juice, or when I'm preparing and I pop olive oil in. And just so you're aware here, sorry, I'm just going to show you, instead of using a tablespoon, you can bring your scales on. By doing that, you can weigh in 15 grams of lemon juice, or a little bit more. And next is a tablespoon of honey, and I'm just going to give it a bit of a free pour. And next is our avocado. And I just wanted to show you too that you can use the ice cream scoop to scoop up the avocado. So I'll just show you how easy and quick that is. Look at that. Also, you scoop up the stone very quickly. Okay. And the rest of the avocado. Now, this dressing will probably last for a good 3 days in the fridge, unless you eat it straight away. I find that this salad is great for a main course. It can be served with lots of different things. I'll go through that in a minute. I'll just pop this on speed 10. Sorry, speed 6. Okay, and so I'm going to transfer that into a bowl and pop that in the fridge, and then move on with the rest of the recipe. Another little product to highlight, I love these spatulas that you can also get on the mix shop. Now I'm just going to pop this down, but also give it another little mix. It's nearly there, but I'll give it a few more seconds. So as you know, when you're following a guided recipe, you can press the back arrow and take us back. I'm just going to do this for a few more seconds. And press the selector to stop. And then I'll pop that into the fridge. Okay, now this salad, as I said, what I love about it is because we're using the varoma, so we're steaming, so we're cooking a salad in a different way to just chopping up fresh ingredients. You can serve it warm or you can serve it cold, so it's as good tomorrow as it is today when the broccoli is hot. So let me just pop this in the fridge, and then I'll move on with the rest of the recipe. So 1 second, and as I have a second bowl, I don't have to wash it up in the meantime. So okay, so lid. Now, quinoa. Have you ever found that the quinoa, when you rinse that, when you pop that into your simmering basket, they go everywhere, or they go through the little holes in your simmering basket? Now, what I find the best way to do is to put a bowl, I'm just going to show you, put a bowl on top, and then weigh your quinoa into this. Then soak this for a good 5-10 minutes, and then pour it into your simmering basket so that your little quinoa has popped up or fluffed up a bit, so they're bigger, so they won't fall through the little gaps in your simmering basket. Okay, so I have done this step already, and then we'll pop the varoma on top once we have some water in. So I can just pour water on top here, 600 grams of water. It's also asking for a bit of salt in the water. That's up to you whether you add salt or not. There we go. I'm going to leave the salt out. Okay, and then we'll pop our simmering basket in. Is asking for, which we've already done. So varoma, who uses the varoma to make salads? It's such a great way to cook. I've been using my varoma most days this week, which is such a lovely way to cook your vegetables. So we're going to have broad beans. I have actually bought broad beans that are already shelled, so I don't have to shell them afterwards. So you can get those in the freezer section in Woolies. But first, the broccoli. So I'll just cut those up in little florets, about 300 grams of broccoli in the bowl itself. And then insert the tray, and then put the frozen broad beans on top. Now, what you could do, if you wanted to make this into more of a substantial meal, you could put in some salmon, and on the side here, you might be able to fit in 2 salmons in there, 2 fillets. So yeah, that's all from me. This is going to steam for about 15 minutes, and I'll come back at the end and show you how to put it all together.
Great, thanks, Anita. So now we're going to see Anita when she brings it all together. Don't worry, because it is beautiful when it all is presented. The next presenter for today is Debbie, and she's going to bring us through the traffic light salad, but also talk about some other quick salads that we can make in the Thermomix.
Thanks, Linda. Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining us this afternoon. I think I got the easiest job of everyone because I'm showing you the 5-second traffic light salad. But I just thought I'd have a quick chat about wonderful chopped salads that you can do in this Thermomix. So if you haven't tried the ones in the basic cookbook, I highly recommend. There's the coleslaw, the beetroot salad, and the broccoli salad that's in the basic cookbook. The one that I'm doing today, which is the 5-second traffic light salad, it's also called the quick rainbow salad. The 5-second traffic light salad is from a UK and Ireland lunchbox inspiration collection, or the exact same recipe is called quick rainbow salad, which is in the grab and go collection from Switzerland. So to find those on Cookie-Doo, you'll need to take your filter off Australia and just put it into English and take off Australia. You'll find all the salad recipes from English speaking recipes. But I thought I'd just let you know too that when you're thinking about making a salad, you never have to start with a dry bowl with these types of chopped salads. So if you need to grate cheese, or if you need to mill nuts or do something with a dry bowl, do that before you make a salad. The other thing we used to do years ago when we did demos, we'd make a hummus dip and we'd never wash the bowl and we'd go straight into the beetroot salad. So some of that dip would actually provide flavoring to the beetroot salad. We love not having to wash this bowl. So I'll just give you an example today. We had boiled eggs on the egg boiler mode this morning. So the bowl only had water with eggs in it, so it was wet. But then I thought I need to make some mayonnaise. Mayonnaise doesn't need a dry bowl either. So I like the cooked egg mayonnaise recipe, very simple. I even just made half a quantity and it keeps, the cooked egg mayonnaise keeps quite well. I think they say for a couple of weeks. But then I had mayonnaise left in the bottom of the bowl. So instead of washing that out, I thought, well, I'll just throw some raw veggies in and we'll have like a coleslaw for lunch, which was great. So just think about those sort of things when you're making things in your Thermomix to minimise what you are having to wash or, flavour. Don't waste the mayonnaise stuck around the blades. When you put your coleslaw ingredients, it'll all get mixed through. So that's what I love about these chopped salads, because all the dressing ingredients are already incorporated. The other thing I did when I have some leftover salad is I often like to use rice paper. You can wrap anything in rice paper, and these chopped salads are perfect. You can put your shredded chicken, you can put other things in with it. So today, when I looked at what I had some smoked ocean trout in the fridge. So I just did a few of these little rice paper rolls with some smoked ocean trout, a little bit of rocket, and some of the coleslaw, and they're very yummy. So while I've got this thermoserver here, I'm sure you all have a thermoserver. If you do want to transport your salads, if you're going on a picnic or taking it to someone's house, this is a really handy lid to have. This is the silicone lid cover. So it has flaps that you flap up to put it on. And then when you put it on the bowl, you flap them down. And that creates a seal. So very airtight and nothing will spill out of that. So for transporting your salads, I highly recommend the silicone lid cover. Okay, available, well, hopefully, although someone said it was out of stock, but usually available in the mix shop. Okay, what else did I want to tell you? I better get on with my salad. Okay, so I just put it in my today 5-second traffic light salad. So simple and easy. It's basically throwing everything in. So we've got 200 grams of carrot just cut up into 2 centimetres. I never know how big a centimetre is, but chunks. Okay. Red peppers or capsicum into 3 centimetre pieces. Broccoli into 5 millimetres, whatever that is. Okay. 150 grams of apple. I've just got red apple. You can use green apple. You can use whatever apple you have. It doesn't really matter. And this is what makes it really nice. Some sunflower seeds, 30 grams of sunflower seeds, just gives it a lovely crunch. And then it has the dressing ingredients. So just olive oil, 25 grams of olive oil, 20 grams of lemon juice, a teaspoon of honey. Sometimes if I don't want to use honey, I'll just use maple syrup. Sometimes if I don't have a lemon, I will substitute red wine vinegar. Tastes just as nice. And then 1.5 teaspoons of Dijon mustard, and then just some salt and pepper. So I've just got all of those dressing ingredients in here. I'll use one of these as well. Put that in. Okay. Now we're ready to chop. So we can just go to the recipe, go to where we want. Oh, we'll just have to go through all of them. Actually, we should be able to jump to where we want to. Okay, 5 seconds. 5 seconds on speed, 4.5. Serve immediately for freshest flavour. So we'll just have a look at that. Now, depending on how fine you like your salad, you can chop that a bit more if you like, but otherwise you can just put it onto, I sometimes like to put it on a bed of leaves, so we can just put the salad on here. It's quite a chunky salad. Okay, and if you do want to make it a little bit fancier, sprinkle a few more sunflower seeds. You can dress it up with a bit of feta or goat's cheese. I'll just put a little bit on. And I don't know if you remember last year in lockdown, I discovered nasturtiums in the backyard. They always make a salad look pretty. So all edible, the leaves and the flowers. Let's just put a few of those on. Okay. So here we go. The 5-second traffic light salad. Thank you.
Beautiful. Well done. I love that, Debbie. And I love the addition to a bit of colour on that salad too. And I think that's the key thing to remember, that we can actually introduce so much colour, so much texture, seeds in if you can't do nuts. So yeah, that's a really great one to kick off with. Excellent. All right, so we're moving right along and we're going now on to Fiona. And Fiona's going to introduce us to an Asian chicken noodle salad. So over to you, Fiona, if you're ready to go.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to my kitchen this afternoon. I'm making the Asian chicken noodle salad. This is one of my favourite salads. I've taken it to barbecues, and even on a boat. On New Year's Eve, I took it on a boat and I just added the dressing at the last minute, and it's an all-in-one salad because it's got the noodles and the chicken, and the cabbage means it doesn't go too wilty or nasty. So it's a really good one to take travelling or to a function of some sort. Okay, so we're going to start straight along. And first of all, I'm just going to chop the carrots. Just got them in big chunks. We're just going to put them in and chop for 4 seconds on speed 5. And I'm just doing this because it's in a slightly different order. So 4 seconds. Okay. And it needs a little longer. So I'll just do it a little bit longer. I'll put to 5. That'll do. mix it, just a couple more seconds to get it chopped a bit more. Yeah, that's looking pretty good. So I'm just going to put that in the bowl, and I'm going to add it to the salad a bit later. Okay. And then we're going to move straight on to the dressing. So it doesn't really matter if you don't get all the carrot out, because it all ends up in the salad anyway. So let's put that aside. Okay. So now in the dressing, we have starting with chili, lime zest. Now I did the lime zest with the lovely peeler that you get in the toolkit, which is this month's gift with purchase. So it's really good. It does great, lovely zest without any pith on the other side. And I've got ginger and I've got garlic. So I'm just putting all that in. And it just goes through. And we're going to chop that for 5 seconds on speed 7. And that's all nicely chopped. As you can see, really nice and fine. It's so amazing that they can chop all that so fine. You don't have to grate it or do anything like that. I'll just push that down a little bit. And the garlic's going to, and the chili's going to make me cough. And then I've got in here all the wet ingredients for the dressing. So there's soy sauce, and there's sesame, palm sugar, rice wine vinegar, hoisin, sesame oil, peanut oil, and that's about it. So we're just going to put all that in. And just scrape that out with a spatula, and we're going to mix that for 20 seconds on speed 6. Okay. Now I'm going to transfer the dressing into, I bought this, the mix shop. It's a little Thermomix jug. So if you're taking your salad somewhere and you want to keep the dressing cool, you can transport it in that. Or it's really good for gravy at Christmas time as well. So I'm just going to put it in that. So I'll put that aside, and we can put that in the fridge for later. Okay, now, so next we're just going to add water to the thermos, to the bowl, because I've got chicken here. This is the chicken part of the salad. So I've just got chicken tenderloins here, just put salt and pepper on them. And then we're going to steam them in the varoma. So I'm just going to get my kettle. I'm just going to put 500 grams of water in there. I've actually boiled that because it just speeds it up a little bit. And I also need it for the noodles. So it's just a matter of putting the lid on. And then we'll pop our chicken up there. And then you just turn the dial for 10 minutes. So 10 minutes varoma, speed 1. So while that's steaming, what I've got in here is my noodles, just little fine noodles. And it's the good use of the thermoserver is you just cover them with water for 2 minutes, which I'm going to do now. I've boiled the kettle, so you need to use boiling water. And just put the lid on. And that's the way you can cook your noodles without having to, you know, put them in the microwave or pot or anything. So we'll just put them aside. And I think we're going on with someone else, and I'll come back to me when my chicken is cooked. So.
That's right. Thanks, Fiona. And it's great to see all of the devices being used there, as well as the mini jug that we call our gravy jug or whatever. But the multi-level cooking here with steaming and also using the thermo server. So we're going to come back to Fiona once that chicken's cooked. So we're going to move now across to Sharon, and she's going to take us through couscous as a base for a salad and what else we can get excited with when working with couscous.
Hi, I think, sorry. Sorry. Hi, everyone. So I have couscous prepared here, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to flavor couscous. Now you can flavor couscous with almost anything. The recipe calls for water, but what I've opted to go is with some stock. So you can use chicken stock, vegetable stock, just to give it that first base of flavor. But besides that, the rest, all it is just putting everything together, and we just fluff up the couscous. And it's asked to prepare some vegetables in the oven. So I've got some aubergines here, which I kind of pan fried to get that nice crisscross pattern going through it. So it looks like you can do it in the oven. You can steam it if you want. You can also, and like what I've done is just pop it in the barbecue also. Sorry. So I've just pan fried those. Or you can also use other vegetables to go with this dish. And basically I've just cut it up in rough shapes. And I've got pumpkin, I've got zucchini, I've got carrots that I could just pop and add to it. Now, my water is, my stock is boiled. So all I do with the stock is just add to the couscous and leave it there to absorb. Okay, that's all I do. And then that will be sitting there for 5 minutes while I prepare the other ingredients. So I'm going to prepare the stock now. Basically, it's some mint leaves going in, some lemon zest, which I've peeled from the side of the lemon. Now I'm going to put some lemon juice in there. I like using my spatula for doing this. I don't have much strength to use the peeler that goes down, the juicer that goes down like that. So this is actually ideal for me. And I'm going to put some oil. So this is a very simple dressing, which is just very classic, in fact. So just some salt and pepper, and all salads need is some vinaigrette. Instead of pepper, I'm going to put some chili flakes into mine. Okay, so it depends on how you're going to take your couscous, either Mediterranean, to the Middle East, Eastern side, or Israeli side. So it depends on what flavors you want. But this one is very classic. It's a French recipe, and I'm just going to blend all that. The smell here is really, really nice with all that lemon juice going on in there. And that mint, fresh mint. And all is that's the juice. That's the dressing for the salad. And basically that's all I have to do. I just have to wait for my couscous to soak up before I start plating the dish. Anyone got any questions? Oh, I wanted to show you, you can actually make your own couscous. Couscous actually comes from the product of semolina flour, which is made from durum wheat. So it's like your pasta. And all you do is just put flour and basically roll and put water. And you can make your own fresh semolina couscous yourself too. And but this
Hey,
one,
Sharon, sorry, I was just
Yeah.
going to ask you because I know that we're going to get a lot of people ask exactly how to make couscous. Do you have a link that you could send after that would take people through the process for that?
Not at the moment, but there's plenty on. I just searched on YouTube. I actually was researching what couscous was.
All right,
A lot of people think it's
but I just know that people will ask now. Cool,
Yeah.
awesome. That's amazing. Thank you.
I actually put a post on Instagram. So
Sharon, you did a great video. Can we maybe share that with our audience?
Yep.
I'll talk to you about that.
okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I put it on a post on Instagram how this is done. It's so simple. Basically, you only need the flour, you need water, a sieve, a sieve that is not fine. That means it's rough. So you know how you can buy couscous that is fine, medium, or you can get those pearl ones. It's depending on the size of the sieve that you have. So a lot of Middle Eastern people do this from scratch. And then what you do is you need to steam it for half an hour with the stock at the bottom. And then what you do is you basically break it up again because it does clump up, because this is just like pasta, so it's just flour. And then you go and continue steaming for another 25 minutes, and then it's ready. All you do is just fluff it up like what I'm going. So what we have, or what we find in the supermarket, is what we call instant couscous, and that's why we just put stock and it basically fluffs up. Ooh, look at that! How quick was that? So that couscous just absorbed or sucked in all that water, and all I have to do is just take a fork to fluff it up.
That's amazing. Sharon, the other thing I was going to ask, I haven't got my Google Translate out at the moment, but this one that you're doing, the recipe goes through the process of the stock and the fluffing up, etc., in the cookie dough recipe. Is that correct?
Correct.
Yeah, great. Okay, thank you.
Yeah. So the next thing it's asked me to do is to put the dressing onto it. Oh, the smell that's coming out of this is very herbaceous because of the lemon skin and the mint. Okay. And then we just leave it there to sit and rest again while we do the next part of the recipe, which is to do my feta. Now I've made homemade feta because I was kind of curious how it was made or done. And you can see this one, I've done an ortholengi style, which is a smoked feta. Basically, it's just toasted garlic, lemon peel, and chilies to get that smokiness, and then they pour the oil in. So I've left that to marinate overnight. And just to show you, so the pieces of cheese is actually already, so I'm supposed to put 200 grams. It's already flavored, so it's marinated. But I'm going to, we do have a recipe in Cookie Dough that teaches you how to make this feta. I've done it a little bit differently, but I've done both so that you can see the difference. Sorry, I'm a little bit short, so I'm the tiptoe. It actually needs 200, but my feta is very soft, so it's going to break up very quickly. Yeah. And just for 4 seconds, just to break it up, because I know my feta is soft, I know I don't have to do it too long. As you can see, it's basically like mush, almost. But we're just going to sprinkle that on top of the dish when it's done. Now, this is the Cookie Dough recipe. And look at that. So that's feta from the cookie dough that you can make. Now I'm going to check whether this is done. So it's still absorbing because of the heat that's inside the thermoserver.
We can come back to you if you need to, Sharon. We can always come back if you want to let it a little bit longer.
Yeah, a little bit longer because it just needs that little bit more time to absorb in the liquids. Otherwise, the dish is almost done.
Okay,
Just to
we'll come back to you like we come back to everybody. So thanks for that. There was a few questions. I think somebody said, is that rosemary in with the feta? Is that, what did you have? Yeah, okay.
So
and
I had oregano, just a mix of herbs.
Yeah, and again, we'll be bringing all those recipes to you, and any of the tips from any of the consultants. We'll make sure that that's all highlighted in the email that you get. All right, so we'll now move over to Marie, and Marie's bringing us a pesto chicken and potato salad, but not the pesto that you are used to. So let's go to Marie.
Hi, everyone. Can you see me?
Yep.
Okay, I can't see myself. Hey. Okay, well, hi, everyone. Welcome to my kitchen. I've been chosen to do the red pesto chicken and potato salad. Now, this recipe instead of the green pesto, but you can use both if you choose to, you know, swap it. It doesn't make any difference. You can just use your normal green pesto. This one here, this recipe here is so versatile, is why I personally like it, because we're doing the chicken, but if you're a vegetarian, you can replace the chicken with other vegetables like cauliflower and pumpkin and any other vegetable of your liking. But in this case, I'm just going to do the chicken one for everyone's. So in here, I've got some of my ingredients, which are just the wet ingredients. I've got some yogurt, some mustard, some sun-dried tomatoes, some tomato paste. What else is in there? Some capsicums. Now, you can either roast your own capsicums or you can buy them in a jar, whatever. You only need 15 grams. I'm going to put 20 grams of oil in this as well. Oops, I forgot to start cooking. I'm just so used to making this now. Let me just go down. Because I've already started, I'm just going to go into my scales through the recipe. Just add 20 grams of oil, or 21, doesn't make any difference. I've got some Parmesan cheese. It does ask for about 15 grams. It doesn't matter if you go a little bit further. Some basil, some garlic, and some macadamia nuts. Now, again, with this recipe, you can swap the macadamians for cashews. What else is there? Cashews, some pine nuts if you choose to, or some seeds if you want to. So you can omit the nuts altogether if you have nut allergies. Okay, and I'm just going to So I've also got Dijon mustard in there as well. Okay. I'm sure all of you have made the green pesto many times. Here it is. It doesn't actually look red because I put Kalamata olives in it. It's got like a purpley tinge to it. Not sure, I'd say like a purpley tinge to it. But you can omit the olives. You don't need to put them in, but I just thought, why not? I've never tried it with the olives, so I'll give it a go. It's still a bit chunky. I might put it back on again because I like it to be finer. And I'm just going to do half of it this time. So I'm going to go back 20 seconds. I'm only going to do it for 10 seconds. So I'm going to turn that, override it and turn it down and do it again. There you go. That's great now. That's what it looks like, if everyone can see it. It's nice and chunky and a bit finer. The other good thing about this, if some people have asked me for recipes which are dairy-free, to make this dairy-free, just replace the cheese and the yogurt with mayonnaise. That's okay too. So I'm going to do that. And another question I always get asked is with chicken. We're going to steam our chicken. I'm going to just put 20 grams. I'll put this back into my little bowl here for now. I think it was Fiona that was saying earlier about not washing the bowl. That's so true. I mean, there's nothing worse than having to wash the bowl constantly. And the flavour, if you leave it in your bowl, will infuse into the next dish as well. So in here, I've just got my dirty bowl. I'm going to put it back here. Before I do that, I've just got to weigh out 50 grams of the pesto to keep for my potatoes. I'm just going to put it in here, or 54. Put that aside. I'm going to leave the rest to dress our salad at the end. Okay. Now, I'm going to go back over here. And I'm going to transfer. Okay, I'm going to add, I'm sorry, I'm just all over the place today. I can't remember how much water it said. Okay, so in here I've got my potatoes, which I've sliced. So about 3 centimetres. It does ask about 500 grams of potatoes, but I think I had half a potato more, so I just put it in. I wasn't going to throw it out, which goes into our bowl. And then we're going to put our chicken on top. I'm going to add some water. Let's put it in through here. Go to scales. $500 grams of water. Oops. It doesn't matter if you put a bit more. We're only using it to steam. Okay, we're going to put our lid on top of that. Next. And our simmering baskets there. Place the aroma on top. So in here I've got my chicken, which is already prepared. One tip about steaming chicken or any meat dish, because people often say that their chicken's not cooking in time, it's too slow or whatever. Make sure your chicken comes down to room temperature. That really does help with the steaming process. Okay. And another thing that I have found people often say, well, I don't like steamed chicken. The good thing about this recipe is you can actually barbecue your chicken. and mix it through. It doesn't really matter, or even grill your chicken. It still works. Okay. Oh, I know what I forgot to do. Oh, Moses, I think I better go to bed and start again today. Okay, so I'm going to mix my pesto in through this chicken that we had, the 50 grams that I reserved, just to give it flavour. Okay, so when I actually do steamed chicken, I add my own flavours as well. I never just steam it the way, just plain. I'll add some garlic or lemon juice or whatever, just not to have that chicken smell. There we go. So that's like that. That goes on top. Goes here. Done that. So that simmering basket, we've done all this. And I'm just going to turn that to speed 2. Before I just turn it to speed 2, and I've told you about how you can omit the sweet potatoes and, make it a vegetarian style and dairy free and nuts and everything. And you can also replace the potatoes with sweet potatoes if you like as well. So at this stage, I think, another thing, if you're wanting to not boil your potatoes in the simmering basket, I've been using the blade cover and doing my potatoes like that as well, and they turn out really, really good. So that's another thing. If you haven't got a blade cover, grab a blade cover because it's fantastic for potatoes and whatever else you need to do. So I think you're going for me.
Yep.
Coming back
So
later.
we're going to let you steam your potatoes and cook chicken. And what we're going to do is we're going to go back to our first presenter, which is Christine, and she's going to show the finished dish. And then hopefully as we come through, how long are you going there, Marie? How many minutes?
It says 10 minutes.
That's okay. So we'll come back to you at the very, very end.
Yep. No
All right.
worries.
So I'll move across to Christine now, and we'll see her dish, which is the seared steak salad. Can you speak, Christine, and then we'll spotlight you.
Do you want me to spotlight myself, perhaps?
No, that's okay.
Oh, there we are.
And Marie needs to mute herself.
Well, sorry.
Thanks, everyone. Thank you so much for coming back. So as you can see, it's all done and dusted. I've just gone ahead, plated it up. Nice caramelized onion, beautiful brown steak. So we're just going to move on to the dressing. So it's asked me to leave all the juices of the steak in there. So that's going to be part of the dressing, which is one thing I love about the Thermomix. We can use all the residual flavors, as everyone's been saying. We don't want to ever clean the bowl as much as we can. Again, you just keep following the recipes. Ask me to take the beef and the onions out, discard the rosemary, but keep the juices. So now we've got walnuts, oil, lime juice, honey, and a bit of salt and pepper, and that's it. So as you can see, steak, rocket, tomato, avocado, all quite simple flavors. The capers do give it a nice, good hit of sort of salt, if you will. But otherwise, it is quite a simple flavors. So you're welcome to continue and use this dressing, which we personally love. The lime, the honey, the nuts, all of that really goes well. But even if you have a simple balsamic vinegar, or even you can use leftover pesto, whether it's maybe the red or the green. We love the green pesto. All of that would be beautiful on this very simple salad. So 3 seconds, speed 5. I've just popped all that in. Beautiful. So I wanted to also mention that this this dish I said was for 2 people, 2 portions. It is only 200 grams of rump steak. Look, I know I could go to a restaurant or make myself a 200-gram steak if I want to be particularly full. So if you do want to double the steak, there's no problem in that because it's the only part that's cooking. You're not going to overfill your bowl. That's the only thing to just monitor when you are doubling. You don't want to overfill the bowl. So 2 steaks cut up into nice big chunks, I found is a really perfect cook. And you can also add double the onion too if you do really like the caramelized onions, and no problem with that. So there is the dressing. I'll just show as I pour it out. So look, it does come out a bit chunky, which is what we probably like. Again, you can just put it back on if you do like it a bit more fine. But that is quite literally it. Bon appetit. So that was literally ready in 35 minutes. Obviously, we were just letting everyone else have their turn. But honestly, you can prepare the salad while the meat's cooking, dressing 3 seconds, and dinner is served. It's too easy. Steak and salad.
Excellent. Thanks, Christine. And I made that during the week myself, and it went down really well in this house. So I would encourage you all to give it a go. And we also added some extra meat, so it worked out fine for us. Okay, so we're going to move on to Anita now, because she's also in a situation where her quinoa and everything has come together. So she's going to finish off her salad. So
Thanks, Linda. Yes, so my quinoa obviously has finished cooking, and so has the broad bean and the broccoli. So I've actually mixed that all together with the rocket, and I've just poured on some of the olive oil. It actually asks for about 60 grams of olive oil, which is beautifully perfect. I have reduced it to about 40 just out of preference, and anything extra to go in here will be the seeds that I have roasted. So the seeds that are in here are pumpkin and slivered almonds. I have also popped in some walnuts and pine nuts. So that's been roasted. It's about 2 tablespoons of each, and that's been roasted, dry roasted in a frying pan. I'm just going to pop that on top. I just love having seeds and nuts in a salad, just because it just adds that extra crunch, extra protein, of course, which is great. And the dried cranberries gives the salad a little bit of a sweet twang to it, which I think is wonderful. And just to have those different types of flavors, and from sweet to sour, makes it more of an enjoyable experience, I think. So I'll just pop that on top. Now, I'm also a bit of a lover of, oh my goodness, can someone help me out? The seeds, these seeds, what are they called?
Pomegranate.
Thank you so much. Yes, pomegranate. I love pomegranate for all the antioxidants that it gives you. So I'm going to add, because I just had a bit of extra in that, so I'll just put that on top. Also, it looks good in the color with the red against the green. This has been, of course, a great salad to serve up at Christmas. I'm just mixing it together. The broad beans, however, you might have seen me when I popped them in earlier. You said on the bag that they were already shelled, which they were to a certain extent, but they still had a shell on them. So just for those of you who haven't cooked with broad beans before, I remember the first time I did cook with them, which is a few years ago now, I ate them with this shell on. I'm like, what is the hype about these beans? I really don't like them. So just remember to get that outer shell off. So there we go. I'm just gonna plate that up on the white plate so you can see how pretty it looks. Yum. And then the dressing on top. The dressing is quite thick because it's Greek yogurt and avocado. So you can kind of just dab it on as much or as little as you like, but I feel that this dressing really makes this salad go to a bit of a different level. So you can serve that on its own. I'm gonna serve this tonight with an onion and an onion pie. I would probably go more for this rather than the pie. The kids would probably have more pie than the salad, so it just serves us all. So I would highly recommend this salad. It's beautiful tomorrow as well, and served with a piece of fish or even some steamed chicken. So I hope you guys give it a try.
That's amazing.
Thank you. Now, before I go, now I'm finished, but as this is a salad and dressing kind of class, I have a Thermomix consultant, good friend of mine in Melbourne, Moira. She sent me a link yesterday to a dressing that she has created herself. And I'm going to send it through to you, Linda. She's got it up on Recipe Community. It's a raw tahini dressing, and it's an amazing dressing that is a bit of a substitute for mayonnaise, and the flavors are amazing. The comments on Recipe Community is that it's so good that people could drink it with a straw. So, and of course, the good thing is it's just full of goodness. It's full of herbs and tahini and lemon juice and olive oil. So it's just good for you. So nothing like all the extra oils that you do in a mayonnaise. Anyway, I'll send it through to you.
No, that sounds great. And I guess everybody that's registered for the class, you're all the lucky ones. You'll also get that link as well. So very, very lucky there to get ideas from other consultants around the country. And that's all how we work. As consultants, we share a lot. So you'll always be learning from your consultant, which is why we always encourage everybody when you get a Thermomix to really keep in contact with your consultant, either via their newsletter or their social media feeds, because it's a relationship that's ongoing. We love it as much as you guys love it. So yeah, important to, if you haven't got a consultant, make sure when the email goes out later today or tomorrow morning, I think it's going out later tonight, when the email goes out to you with all the details, please do reply back that you haven't got a consultant at the moment, and we'll make sure that we tee you up with somebody that's aligned with you. If you're vegetarian or vegan or whatever it might be, if you want somebody specific in that particular area, make sure you mention that as well. We'll try and line you up with a suitable consultant. Okay, so we're going to go back now to Sharon, because her couscous should be, that should have soaked up all that goodness. And it's sort of like I could smell the way she was describing all that beautiful lemon and those flavors. So Sharon, are you ready? You're on mute.
Sorry about that. So it makes quite a lot. Mine is mainly roasted vegetables, and I've just done a plate like. Oh, can you see me?
Yeah, we can see you, Sharon. Yep.
Yeah, you just haven't got you spotlighted. We'll just try and get you spotlighted again.
I think the coverage might be a bit shady, Sharon. It's kind of freezing up a little. Is that just me, or is that happening for others as well?
Happening for me as well.
Yeah, sticky for me as well.
Is it worth going to somebody else and then coming back to Sharon? Yeah.
It looks like she's frozen. Okay, so we'll go back to Sharon in a second. I'll do some talking. What about me? Let me spotlight.
I'm ready if you want to come to me.
All right, let's go to Fiona. Let's go to Fiona.
All right, well, I've got everything ready here to add to my salad. I've got my cabbage, I've got the carrot I did in the Thermomix, snow peas, some red capsicum, and herbs and spring onion. So I've just sort of all just put it in segments so you can see what's in it. Now what we're going to do is add our noodles. So I've drained them through the simmer basket from the thermoserver. So I'm going to add my noodles. Just get the spatula like that. And then we've got the chicken, which I've steamed. It's all ready to go. So I've just sort of broken it up a little bit from being the tenderloins. So I'll just add that. And then we can mix it all together. So just noodles and the veggies. And then all we need to do is add the dressing. just break the noodles up a little bit. They're just a little bit sticky. Okay. And I've got quite a lot of coriander in this. If you don't like coriander, there is also mint in there. You could add more mint and leave the coriander out, or just you could add parsley, or just any herbs you like. Okay, so then I'll put some in a bowl. I'm just going to put some in a bowl like this, and I can also we've got the chicken, and you can also just, the noodles are just, okay. And I've got, like, seeing Debbie had her beautiful flowers from the garden, I thought I'd better also have some beautiful flowers. So I've got little pansies here, so I'm going to put a little pansy on and a bit of coriander, and I'll put a few on here. So, because the little violas and pansies are also edible. They use a lot in restaurants, make everything look lovely. And I've got a little bit of carrot here. I've just done a little daisy. And you finish it off with some peanuts. I've just got peanuts. I've just left them whole because I quite like the whole peanuts. And the dressing, of course, sesame seeds. So I'm doing an individual one and a big bowl. And then the dressing. So I'll just put some dressing from my it would look better if I actually mixed it in, but anyway, that's all right.
Fiona, I just had a question earlier about that jug. Will it seal tight? Okay, I think I can see. It doesn't seal tight when it's closed.
No,
if you tilt it will still
it's just
pour.
got a flat lid.
Okay, thank you.
But I think you could probably put, I don't know, elastic band around it, or just keep it up tight.
I put an elastic band around mine.
Yeah, it's pretty. It's quite stiff, the lid. It's not like, so if you put an elastic band around it, and it's quite, it sort of seals it, but it's not totally sealed. So, yeah.
And the alternative would be to put it in a glass jar or a plastic jar or something.
Yeah, but yeah. I just find if you put the dressing on towards the end, but with this salad, you could probably put it on when you left home if you didn't want to take the jug with you. So yeah, so that's my salad. So the alternative is if you don't like Asian flavors, there's a nice dressing called orange curry dressing, and that's really nice on it as well. So you could change the Asian things a little bit and just add the orange curry dressing, which is really lovely as well. So yeah.
Thanks, Fiona.
Okay.
Did we end up, Anne-Marie, did you end up getting hold of Sharon? Has she lost her internet altogether, or?
No, I'm on.
Okay, let's go over to you.
Can you hear me now? All right, so I've done a main plate like this, but you can actually spread it out bigger, but it's a bit hard to have a too big a plate. So I've got pomegranate, I've got chickpeas, which I've slow cooked.
Hang on, spotlight you. We haven't got you spotlighted. Can we just spotlight Sharon, please, Anne-Marie?
On now. So that's the final dish with all the roasted vegetables on top of the couscous. And I've got pomegranate just to give it a boost of color. I even added the slow cooked chickpeas in on it to give that extra flavor, but to show you that you can do different variations. So you can see I've got the other type of the odd cuts of vegetables, and just a bit of couscous on the bottom, bit of edamame with pomegranates. I've got pine nuts and cashews on the side, and I've got just the feta on the side rather than to crumble it up. So people can just interact with it when you're eating it with it rather than to help them along with it. So that's it.
Fantastic. And what we've actually got for you, because the recipe that Sharon started with was one of the International Library recipes, What we're going to do is we've given you an alternative that you can actually work with that sort of brings those flavors together. That is an English one, and we'll also put some tips regarding increasing flavor and adding other ingredients into a couscous salad, because really couscous is sort of a bit of a carrier in the sense it's a bit like rice, so you can actually add lots of different stuff in there. Okay, so I'm just checking, are we okay with Marie and the red pesto potato chicken salad? How are we going, Marie? Otherwise I'll jump in.
Yeah, unfortunately the chicken needed another 3 minutes.
Okay, so do you want me to continue?
Yeah, come back, hopefully it'll be ready.
Okay, no worries. All right, well, if you can spotlight me and Maureen, I might just fill in those 3 or 4 minutes. That's great. All right, so I'll talk a little bit. We've gone a little bit over and we're supposed to only have an hour class, but sometimes these things happen, so bear with us. We're nearly at the end here. What I wanted to talk to you about really was bringing together salads and the different textures and different ingredients that you can bring into your salad. And you've seen a few of them now. The girls have talked about anything from pomegranate to, you know, dried cranberries to, you know, roasting some vegetables and all that type of stuff. And also looking at the different types of dressings. So introducing dressings that can have a base with tahini or yogurt or cheese-based dressings, anything like that. I'll give you the biggest tip, and I'm going to write that into the response as well, that there's actual dressing and salad recipes in Cookadoo. So you can do a search and you can get loads of different salads and variations on dressing. So that's something that you might want to consider. The other thing, as I believe they've already pointed out, this month we've got the Meals in the Flash book, and we've also got the kitchen toolkit. And one of the toolkit items is the actual potato peeler. And when you've got things like even a normal cucumber or roasted vegetable like a zucchini or something like that, if you're slicing, you can actually get some really good texture and lines on all your vegetables, and then breaking them up and slicing them, you can get this type of texture so that they always look really colourful and gives you a little bit of depth onto your salad as well. The other thing that I like using is, a lot of times people forget about the, you know, you can go to the Asian stores or even in our Kmart and Woolies these days, unusual slices, anything with a jagged edge will also give you a little bit of a creative edge on those pieces of vegetables. And that always looks really nice in a salad too. It doesn't always just have to be strips or plain slices. We've talked a lot about introducing seeds and nuts into your salads, and I've got a variety of different things here that you can try. One of the other things that I really like is using toast or breadcrumbs. So sometimes what I've done is I've got some bread that's starting to sort of get a little bit stale, and I just think, what am I going to do with it? If it's really dry and it's fresh, I often use the Thermomix to mill it up and use that as breadcrumbs to coat something. But for salads, if you've done some toasting of some of those breads, and especially when you've got a lovely sourdough or something like that, you might want to toast that and then throw it into your Thermomix and then just give it a quick blitz. And then that can actually offer you some really wonderful texture on top of a salad as well. So because it's toasted, it's already got that nice flavor in it, and then just giving it a blitz, and you can sprinkle that on top of salads as well. So that's another tip. The other thing that I was going to talk to you about today was some of the basic things that when we're being in lockdown, or when you're going camping or you're away and you haven't got access to a lot of fresh vegetables, the supermarkets always have these little sort of dry frozen, what you like, lightly dried, you know, coriander, basil, all those type of things. These are quite handy to keep and have in your fridge. And again, that's going to always be nice that you can actually give that salad a real big punch at the end. Some basic ingredients to always have on hand is a good balsamic vinegar is always going to support you with any great salad, as well as a nice red wine vinegar, and of course a beautiful extra virgin olive oil. If you're making dressings in your Thermomix, don't forget to keep your measuring cup in place, having all your ingredients in there except for the oil, and then using the lid to drizzle while the measuring cup is in there, drizzle onto the lid of the Thermomix as the blades are spinning, and that will incorporate your dressing. So the dressing actually comes together really lovely. So don't forget that. You can use that lid drizzling technique even to separate egg yolks from the egg whites, because the way in which our measuring cups are designed, we've got little gaps between there so that the liquids can actually drain through, but the solid part will stay on the top. But this is a great idea for actually using it for lemons, if you want to keep the seeds on the top and the juices to go down, but it really works quite well when you want to incorporate oil into a dish. The other things for salads and dressings that are really, really great to have on hand, often mustard, but seeded mustard as well as Dijon mustard. Those two, you know, either one work. I do love the whole grain mustard in between a dressing. I think it gives it a little bit of flavour, but also some texture, and I think it looks really nice in between a salad as well. Don't forget to use different sweeteners. The girls have talked a little bit about using things like maple syrups, but also, you know, see if you've got a natural honey company locally that you can grab some lovely honey. Honey's always really good. And another thing to have on hand for good dressings is apple cider vinegar. The other thing that you can make in your Thermomix, and we're going to add this one as well, is a reduced or balsamic caramelized reduction. You can make that in your Thermomix as well, and that's another wonderful thing to throw on top of salads as well. If you're not into really heavy kosher salads and you want something a little bit lighter, this little device, I'll go this way, this little device on the mix shop is a olive oil spray. And this is fantastic if you're just spraying something that you need to actually pop in the oven, or if you just want to spray it onto your salad. So maybe that's something that you'd like to invest in, and that will be one of the links that we pop in there as well. So keep that in mind as well. And then don't forget about things that you can always keep on hand in the fridge that sometimes have a longer use by date, and that would be things like feta, and you can get them these days in the smaller portions in the slivers. So yes, you can make your own, but if you don't have access or time, that's an option. And things like these baby beets. So they're already cooked and ready to go. They can be chopped in and incorporated as well. And when Anita was talking before, she said, oh, you could steam on the side of whatever she was making, some salmon fillets or things like that. I often, when I'm doing a steaming dish and I've got an extra piece of salmon, I just pop it on there, keep it aside. Sometimes I pop it in a snap-lock bag and pop it in the freezer. So if I want to add that to a salad, that can be sprinkled and broken down over a salad as well. So just a piece of salmon that you've steamed in with other things that you've got. So keep all that in mind. These are all things that you can work with. Always make sure you've got your lettuce or your main sauce, the main greens, in good containers. I always use either a Tupperware container, and I pop a piece of chucks in the bottom that I've wet and squeezed out, and I leave that in the bottom with my greens, and that tends to keep my greens for a little bit longer. Just a little tip. And these also, there's the steamer ones that you can get from the supermarket. These are fantastic as well, and they've got like a plastic tray underneath, so the lettuce and stuff sits through that. Another tip I wanted to give you, which is an accessory, and I saw one of the girls talk about this on our page the other day, which I thought was quite good. If you've got a TM6 and you've got this splash guard and you want to remove just the leaves and you don't want the stem, pop it through one of the holes here and pull back. And then what happens is you've actually got the leaf parts and the stem is separate. So that's something that you can play around with one of your accessories. So we must be very close to finishing now. Marie, ready?
Unmute. Yep. Okay. Well, I still had some chicken that wasn't ready. As a rule of thumb, I don't usually work and steam breast. I usually work with tenderloins, but I thought that the tenderloins would cook too quick for the potatoes, so I bought the breast. That was a mistake I won't do again. And I prefer the tenderloins personally, but I've got a few pieces still in the Verona cookie, so I just thought I'd plate this up. So you mix everything together. So you put your spinach, your pesto, your potatoes, and just combine it all together. And I just put it in a bowl so that I can serve it up for you. Excuse me. And the smell in the kitchen is amazing. And I'll put some more parsley on there because I like it. And I've got some macadamia nuts. Again, you can use whatever nuts you like. I roasted these a little bit just to give them a bit more crunch. Sort of cut them a little bit smaller. But there you go. There's my chicken pesto salad. And the good thing about this salad also, if you want to take it on a picnic and you want it cold, you can pre-make everything, chill it, and mix the pesto in through it at the end, opposed to doing it now.
Excellent. Thanks, Marie. So that's a wonderful salad to end our class. So you've seen quite a bit of...
Sorry, Linda, I am just going to add one thing before we finish.
Yes.
So somebody made a really good point. So we were talking about taking meat out of the fridge, having it at room temperature to steam, which is really good, but do be aware of food health and safety. And when you take it out of the fridge, maybe just make sure the chill comes off it. But the last thing that we want is anybody getting any kind of nasty food poisoning. So just be aware of that.
I totally agree. Totally agree. So look, please, spread the word. We run these classes for all our customers or non-customers that want to just take a peek at the Thermomix and what it can do. We're on most Saturdays at 4 o'clock, and there's also cook-alongs during the week, and there are other classes on Thursday nights as well. The consultants can also do cooking demonstrations direct for you and your friends. If you wanted to benefit from some host rewards, some freebies always go a long way. We're currently recruiting, so please keep in mind if you're interested in being a consultant like one of us, we'd love to sort of see you and have a chat with you about what that looks like. I'm just going to quickly pop up a quick poll. If you could just answer these questions, that would be great. And thank you so much for supporting the group, the Insiders group. If that's how you got your invitation for the Insiders group. Oh, Marie, I'll just get you to mute, Dal. To join the Insiders group, if you haven't yet joined the Insiders group is on Facebook, and that's where we share all our cooking classes and events and cook-alongs. So that's something that you might want to consider. If you're not on Facebook, make sure that you're tapping into your consultant, and they will tell you when the classes are. And most consultants send out newsletters or quick prompts to sort of tell you when there's an opportunity for another class. So look, thanks very much again. It was wet and drizzly out here in Sydney today, so perfect class. And hopefully we're going to see some of these beautiful pictures of you and your salads in our Insiders group. Enjoy, everybody. And thanks for being part of it. And Marie, thank